Joe Mazumdar, editor-analyst at Exploration Insights, and I'm at the Metals Investment Forum, the pre-PDAC version in Toronto, and with me is Matt MacKenzie, VP of Corporate Development. Matt, how's it going?
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Corporate Development for Midnight Sun Mining. So Midnight Sun Mining is a grassroots copper explorer in the Zambian Copperbelt, and Rio Tinto had signed an earn-in agreement where they would be spending, I believe, what was it?
$51 million.
$51 million to earn a 75% interest in this significant land package of 50 square kilometers just southwest of the Kansanshi mining and smelter complex, which is one of the largest mines, if not in Africa. But that's run by First Quantum. And so recently, and this might be an opportunity for our listeners here, is the share price has taken a negative hit as Rio Tinto has pulled out. So maybe you can give our viewers a little bit of explanation what happened and then why you think that this is not as a big negative as the share price reaction was.
Sure. Something important to keep in mind is the threshold for what Rio Tinto is looking for here. And that was something we spoke with them about when initially doing this deal. And they're looking for something in the neighborhood of...
We're talking a billion-ton ore body or something.
A billion-ton ore body is right. Obviously, we're talking like the tip-top kind of deposits of the world at that size. So they thought they might be falling short of that billion-ton threshold, but we don't need to hit that to be a huge success for our shareholders. Sure, a billion tons would be fantastic, and that potential still remains, I believe. But 25% of a billion tons is great, but how about 100% of 400 million ton deposit? Well, that math's pretty simple of which we'd be better off with. Not to mention, too, a company like Rio Tinto be building the infrastructure of a mine to go with that, and it's capital intensive. Whereas a company like First Quantum sitting there with all of the infrastructure you could ever want already built and under capacity as well, sitting next door, this could be very attractive at a smaller size than that billion ton kind of cutoff.
Yeah, considering they're investing over $1 billion to expand or double their processing capacity to deal with more lower grade sulfide material that they're getting there. And they're also, like you were saying, grabbing and processing material from Sentinel, their mine, which is more than 100 kilometers away.
That's right. They're trucking it 120 kilometers from the west of us. The haul road actually goes right through our property to Kansanshi, which is about 10 kilometers from our property. So if you're trucking material 120 kilometers at, they're mining about 0.4, 0.5%.
At Sentinel.
That's Sentinel, trucking at 120 kilometers. Well, I've got ore grade soil that's over 0.7% copper right next to there. So, the economics seem quite obvious that we could be very appealing to fill that supply gap at Kansanshi one day.
So we've got infrastructure, obviously, because Kansanshi is there, from a mining, processing, and a smelting capacity, which is unusual. And now jurisdictionally, the fact that Kansanshi or First Quantum has decided to invest or reinvest in their complex by the tune of over $1 billion suggests that the political climate in Zambia is much better for foreign investment.
Very much so. And that was actually something First Quantum publicly stated ahead of the most recent Zambian election was if the incumbent party stays in power, they would not be making this expansion investment. If the opposition party were to be elected into power, they would want to make this. And they followed through on that. The opposition party did win, extremely pro-business, extremely pro-mining government.
And he's actually from that area, which is the mining area.
You're right.
So
he is from the Copperbelt, born and raised, a true sort of bootstrap story. Became a very successful businessman in Zambia. And his big push is to remove barriers for business and actually be supportive. What do you need to be successful as a business in Zambia, and in particular in mining? there's a lot of jurisdictions where if you make a discovery, there is no guarantee that you're going to be able to build that. Quite the opposite. A lot of impediments to actually putting something to production. Zambia is very welcoming to that. They want you to be producing. If you find it, they want to support you in that next step.
So we've gone over the jurisdiction improving. We've got infrastructure with First Quantum, and obviously Zambia is a big copper producer in Africa and also globally. So we've sort of put the background in. So I guess you've got the property, but now I guess what does Midnight Sun now do without Rio Tinto involved in terms of turning the ship around with respect to quantifying some of that value and moving the share price up?
Well, excited to be back in the driver's seat in that respect. As explorationists, we want to be actively exploring. It's tough sort of sitting on our hands and watch somebody else steer the ship there for the past couple of years. With that, we've had a bit of a lack of news flow as well. We've been on somebody else's schedule. Now we're ready, hit the ground running. We're mapping out targets right now. We plan to get drills rolling ASAP. I am hoping August might be able to do that. We've already started reaching out to drill contractors to see availability, and with positive responses, drills are available nearby. And looking forward to that being a little bit more control of news flow and exploration work. We're well funded too, so we don't have to come to market to pay for this drill budget at all. We have cash on hand, and we're excited to deploy that in productive manner here. And we believe that with the data that has been generated by Rio Tinto, compiled with our own understanding, we're mapping out very prospective targets here, looking at increasing known mineralization areas, proving some size and continuity here. And I think with news of that, this will ultimately should be reflected in the stock price. Firmly believe that in this business, what should drive a stock price is exploration results, and that's what I intend to get to the market.
Great. So I guess there'll be the next big catalyst for you is just actually putting out a news release stating your plans and when this is all going to happen, and then we should see results. And that was an issue with Rio Tinto, definitely in terms of news flow. It was glacial, as Matt said, that it was hard to get them to put out data. So yeah, looking forward to the news flow. So thanks again for Matt MacKenzie from Midnight Sun Mining, copper in Zambia. And it's me, Joe Mazumdar, editor, analyst, Exploration Insights at the pre-PDAC version of the Metals Investment Forum in Toronto. Thank you very much for joining us.